Hey friends, so we're going to have a writing lesson about making our writing better. And specifically, we're talking about editing our writing. So we're fixing it. We're fixing mistakes in our writing. And good writers do that when they finish writing a draft. They finish writing down all their ideas. They have their topic sentence, their beginning, middle, and end, and then their conclusion sentence. They go back and they say, let me make sure that I have fixed all of my mistakes. So when you think about editing your writing, you can think about cups. We think about cups because that is spelled C-U-P-S. And each of those letters stands for something different that we look for when we edit our writing, when we fix our writing. So the C stands for capitalization. So I'm looking to make sure that the beginning of my sentences start with capital letters, that names start with capital letters, that the letter I by itself is a capital. So we're looking for capital letters in the right spot. The U stands for understanding, and that means I'm looking to make sure that my writing makes sense and that I didn't leave out words or add words that shouldn't be there. So I'm going to check for understanding so that if somebody reads my writing, it makes sense. The P stands for punctuation. That's looking at the end of your sentences and making sure that they have a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark. So you're looking for the correct punctuation in your sentences. And then the S stands for spelling. Now remember, I'm not terribly concerned with you spelling every single word right when you're writing. What is important, though, is that the words that you write have the correct sounds. And so you're writing the sounds that you hear. And then, of course, when you actually learn how to spell a word, like our spelling words, for instance, or you learn how to spell a word because you see it all the time, well, then it's time to start making sure that we spell that word correctly. So we're going to think about cups. We're going to look at a couple of sentences. And I put our cups reminder over here: capitalization, understanding, punctuation, and spelling. So we're going to start with this first sentence, and we're going to go with capitalization. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look and I'm going to read my sentence and make sure I have capitals in the right spot. So I like to go to the park. Okay, look and see if there are any capitalization mistakes in that sentence. You can point to it if you see one. So the very beginning of my sentence should have a capital I, because I, when it's by itself, should always be capital, and this is the beginning of a sentence, and sentences begin with a capital letter. All right, let's go to the U, understanding. I like to go to the park. Is that a complete sentence? Does it make sense? Does it have a who and a what? It does, so I'm good on understanding with this one. Now, punctuation. Look at it and check and see if you have the correct punctuation. So in this sentence, I don't have anything over here at the end. I can put a period, because if I'm telling you something, I could put an exclamation mark. If I'm really excited about telling you that I like to go to the park, I'm just going to put a period. And now I've fixed that sentence. That one is good to go. I'm going to put a check mark. We fixed that one. All right, let's check this one first, or next. This sentence says, my sister play. So let's check for capitalization. Check the beginning of your sentence. Make sure it starts with a capital letter. It does, so I have no capital mistakes. What about understanding? My sister play. Ask yourself, does that make sense? Is that a complete sentence? It's not quite a complete sentence yet. Now, I could say, my sister plays, or I could say, my sister is playing. So I need to fix that depending on what I'm trying to say in this sentence. I'm going to say, my sister is playing. And I could go on and make it even a more complex sentence. Say, my sister is playing outside. I could ask myself where. But for now, that makes sense now. My sister is playing. All right, what about punctuation? there's no punctuation marks. I have to go in and make sure I include it. And then spelling. My sister is playing. Those words look right. They look like I wrote the sounds that I heard, or I know how to spell those words. So now that sentence is all fixed. Okay, the sentence says, we goed to the, and I guess that says sir, because those are the two sounds I see, sir. We goed to the sir. All right, let's start from the beginning. I'm sure you're like, oh, look at all those mistakes. But let's start with the C, capitalization. So the beginning of your sentence always should begin with a capital letter. Okay, now let's check for understanding. We goed to the sir. We goed. Is that a word? No, it sounds like it's already happened. So we wouldn't say we goed. We would say we went. We went. All right, check punctuation. And we'll come back to understanding because we're not sure what this word is. Punctuation, I have a punctuation mark at the end, and it's correct. It's a period. It's a telling sentence. But now spelling. I'm trying to think. What was I trying to say? What was I trying to spell? Because I think I missed some sounds. I missed some letters. So we went to the... Oh, I remember now. I was trying to write that we went to the store. Well, I missed some letters there. I didn't spell that the way that I heard it. So let's try that word again. So store. I hear a st. That's an S and a T. St. Oh, I hear an O. Or. Now that looks much more like the word store. We went to the store. But I remembered that I know how to spell this word. I've seen this word before, and I know that it has a silent E at the end of it. If you didn't know how to spell that word and you just had the STOR, store, that's still considered a way to spell that word for now because you wrote the sounds that you heard. But I knew how to spell that word. I remember seeing it somewhere. And I remember that this silent E makes this O. That's what makes the O say O instead of ah. So that one had a lot of mistakes. But I went through C, U, P, and S. I went through the cups. And I checked for capitalization, understanding, punctuation, and spelling. So when you're going back and you're editing your writing, you're fixing your writing, think about those 4 letters, C-U-P-S, capitalization, understanding, punctuation, and spelling. And you can go through and you can edit or fix your writing.